So today we're going to do a walk around and a 20-hour review, initial impressions, whatever you want to call it, of the new 317G compact track loader I just bought. I traded in the 332. It was having problems that I think originated somewhere in the emission system. After 6 weeks in the shop, I said it was time for it to go down the road, and we ended up purchasing this new 317. Overall, my first impressions are it's a really nice machine, coming from 100 horsepower to 65 horsepower. It's impressed me for only having 65 horsepower. My biggest concern was that power difference between the two, but I think between having tracks and a cab, so I'm not constantly eating dust and dirt, it has been quite the upgrade. Now this machine is brand new. I've got 20.3 hours on it right now, so I've put about 16 and a half or 17 hours on it since I got it a little over a week ago. So this is a wide track machine, cab. I believe they call this package the advanced joysticks or advanced controls, something like that. It's a pretty well loaded skid steer, 72-inch. This is one of John Deere's construction buckets. This has a smooth cutting edge on it. I will be getting a serrated cutting edge for it. Hopefully the next week or two. It was getting ordered, but it's a C72 bucket. I really like John Deere's buckets. I looked at a 4-in-1 bucket. The one they had in stock had a weird guard on it right along here that wouldn't let you see the cutting edge. I think it was more meant for like a small wheel loader. Otherwise we'd have a 4-in-1 bucket on it. But back to the actual machine, this handles the 72-inch bucket well. On the narrow track machine, I believe it comes with a 66-inch bucket to be in line with the track. I imagine that machine would just bite into anything you wanted it to with the narrower bucket. However, this does just fine, and you get the extra capacity this way. The pushing power on this machine is great. It comes with a dual set of this machine came with a dual set of counterweights, which I believe it definitely needs, because it definitely feels light in the ass end when you're picking something up. Or I just had the grader attachment on it with the bucket sitting on top of the grader attachment, and you definitely feel that. Hydraulic hookups. This is a low flow machine, 17 gallons a minute, with a case drain on it. And then right up here is the it's called JD Link. It basically, I can pull the machine up on my phone and see right where it is, see if it's running, if it's idling, all that. And it's also location tracking, which is nice. Anyways, this extra lighting package, these LEDs, there's one on each side, one in the back along with the red lights, one on this side, and then two up front. Those lights are phenomenal. I've ran it at night so far one time, and I mean, it's like running in daylight. It's pretty good. So if that's a package you're debating ordering, I'd order it. I don't know how this compares to anything on the new P series in large frame. From what I've heard, the G series are staying, the small frame and mid frame are staying G series for a long time. Otherwise I might have waited and bought a P series. But so we'll kind of get into it back here. I like how this engine opens up, because on the 332 I had, it was just this top panel and two side panels. Now the machine's warm because I just drove it over here, but I like everything's laid out pretty well back here. You got two radiators. I believe this is your hydraulic oil cooler, and your radiator is behind it. This has a latch. It's all hot right now, so I'm not gonna mess with it, but this swings out about 45 degrees, so it makes it easy to blow out both radiators. Oil filter, what are you fuel filter, I believe. Oil filter. Hydraulic tank is directly behind it, and then the hydraulic sight glass is right there. So that's, I mean, if this hose was not there, you'd have great line of sight to it, but looking around a hose is not the end of the world. There's the backup alarm I need to unplug. This is a personal use machine, not a commercial use machine. Here's the hydraulic oil tank, coolant reservoir, oil dipstick, oil fill. Here's your DPF filter. Wish it didn't have that, but above 25 it's gonna have something on it. And then here's your air filter. I really like where the air filter is, and I like this latch system they have on it. It's quick to pull it off and pull those air filters to clean them. You can see your belt and everything right down there. It's for being a smaller frame skid steer, everything is in a pretty good spot to get to for your daily checks, and it looks like your maintenance is going to be pretty straightforward. Like I said, it's only got 20 hours on it so far, so nothing crazy. And then here's your fuel tank. I like the fuel tank being down low on the 332, since it only had the on the rear, the top opening, your fuel fill was up here, which if you were filling it with 5-gallon cans was a real pain in the ass. This rear door could be heavier, but I don't plan on backing it into anything. And then right down here you have all of your maintenance charts on it, and it does not really require anything until 500 hours, and it recommends a oil sample at 250. Everything beneath that is just kind of your daily maintenance type stuff. Air conditioner, cooler up top, and then here's your little latch to open and close it. Find you got to close that top first, and then the door seals right here. If you do it the other way, then this is going to end up sitting on top of this guard. I bought this machine from Stokes Equipment in Casa Grande. Great service. They had my 332. Like I said, we were chasing problems on that machine, and then when I finally said, hey, let's just buy a new one, they took care of me. So I'm real happy with them. You also have additional counterweight down here. I don't know if this counterweight is standard or if this is part of like the upgraded package, and your tie downs on both ends, which is nice. So I shouldn't have to change my chain setup when I do trailer this, but I have not trailered this machine yet. Coming around this side, you got your serial number plate right there. The one thing I don't like about this machine is that right there, made in Mexico. They've transferred their small, and I believe that now their medium, Deere has transferred their small line and medium size line down to Mexico now. I've heard the large frame size is staying in the United States for now, because I know the 332 was a US made machine, but I've heard in the past couple years everything has moved production down to Mexico except for that large frame size. These tracks are not what I would have ordered, but it's what was on it. I would have liked to get zigzags. That's what I'll get when I replace the tracks, but hopefully I don't have to do that for 800 hours or so. I don't know anything else about these undercarriages. Like I said, this is the first track machine I've owned. I know they fill up with mud. I just hosed it all out last night, but there is the undercarriage on it. This has the John Deere quick attach. It's nice to have the 332 I had it, and it made all sorts of noise. This one is silent when you open and close it, which is really nice. It has these two little windows, and the lock bar, when it comes up, is red, and you can see that it's there and in the open position when it's open, or unlocked rather. The only problem I've had with this machine, there's two little problems I've had with this machine so far. Right here is the first one. This O-ring in this fitting right here blew out on me at about the 10-hour mark. And while that sucks on a brand new machine, I'm not really too upset about it, because I've had O-rings blow out on every machine at every age. It got fixed, it's no big deal. And then the only other issue I've had is, and I don't know if it's related to that or if it's just a setting. I personally feel like the bucket curl could have more power. It's something I'm going to have them look at. The machine's going to go back in and get a radio installed in it as soon as it comes in. I'm going to have them look at it at that time. It feels like there's a lack of power there, but I'm not 100% for sure coming from a 100 horsepower machine to a 65. Either way, the machine still performs and does what I ask it to do. So it's something I'm going to have them look at. But back to the cab. There's flies in here now. So you got the over the head lap bar and the swing out door. In a perfect world, this would have a roll up door, and well, that's a big reason I looked at the Kubotas, but with the situation, my machine being in the shop, it is what it is. Now it might be 5:30 in the morning, but we are going to turn this on because get the AC going. 20.4 hours on the machine, and this is the push button start. I can program a code into it. It does not have a code programmed right now for a security code, so you would hit the button, type your code in, hit the green button again to start the machine, but at the moment no code is set. So air conditioner controls up here. The air conditioner is pretty loud on it. Here's your quick attach, here's your lighting. I know up here you'd have other switches for reversible fan and whatnot, but that's what this machine has. This mare is, in the 332 was useless. In this machine, without the DEF system in the engine compartment, you can actually see out the mare behind you. It's really nice. Over here, it's your standard John Deere, your warning lights on this side, temperature and fuel, and then here's your little screen with all your menus and temperatures and all that good stuff, and go through the whole menu just like every other John Deere machine I've seen. Backup camera, it's a backup camera. It's nice, it's always on. And then this little pouch, it holds the GoPro well. It's about the only thing I found it holds well. And then I believe under here is a 12 volt outlet, I believe, in like the dumbest spot possible. Window latches work just fine. I find you need to latch it down or they rattle, but once I figured that out, everything's been great. Here's your windshield wiper control. So you flick it in the middle to turn the wiper on. It's one speed, and then you push it up again to spray wiper fluid. Here's your door latch. There is adjustment in this latch. I read in the manual if you need to adjust how it closes, which is something I'm probably going to need to do. I get a little bit of dust in right here. Here's the creep mode selector. I have not used that yet on this machine, but I have used it on the 332. It's nice, you get full power, but you can slow the machine down, travel speed down if you're doing anything right up against a building or anything like that. So that's a nice feature. Not something I would have looked for to purchase on this machine, but I'm glad it's here. You got two front AC vents and then your defroster vents. Here's one complaint. That's your cup holder. It's just a little mesh bag. It holds a water bottle fine, but don't try to put a Monster can in it. One thing, this is a small frame machine, so you've got this hump right in the middle of the footwell. Kind of sucks. The 332 had much more foot space down here, but it is what it is. It's a small frame machine. And then here is your accelerator pedal, or there's a button right here that can change it to a decelerator pedal. Here's your throttle control. Here's your little thing explaining what everything does here, and this is where a fire extinguisher would mount if you had the fire extinguisher option. Dome light, back window of course breaks out for emergency release. Here is your wiper fluid reservoir, and here is your boom lock. I like this about John Deere's. You raise the boom, you pull this pin out, there's a pin right out here that slides out when you switch this over, and that locks your boom. You don't have to get out of the machine to lock the boom in the up position, so you don't have to go under it to lock it. I like this. Additional AC vents on both sides, and another spot to stick a water bottle I found. This side is pretty much the same. Like I said, this is where the radio will be going, and then we'll lift this up. Right back here, this is important. This is your cabin AC filter. This, you need to pull the seat all the way forward and drop the air out of it. This is an air ride seat. I didn't know that was an option in the skid steer, but I'm glad it is. It makes a world of difference. So this is a cabin air filter. There's another exterior air filter right outside that is blocked by the boom. So to get to that filter, you need to raise the boom, lock the boom, and then you can pull that filter out. That filter clogs up with dirt real fast in a dusty environment, and it makes a world of difference with how hard your air conditioner is blowing. So I clean those out. So far I've put fuel in the machine 3 times. It drinks fuel, but I'm using a 65 horsepower machine to, I mean, I'm climbing up that ramp constantly. It's under a heavy load, and but it does a good job at it, but it drinks the fuel. So whenever I fuel, I pull those filters out and blow the whole cab out, because there will be dust in the cab regardless of what you do. But that helps with the airflow. So I think I've rambled on long enough. These are my first impressions of the machine. I'll probably do another video at 100 or 500 hours, whatever we get to. But thank you for watching, and y'all have a good day.